Welcome back to another episode of Binge Warmers.
My name's Hopper.
I'm Steven, and we are recording for
Percy Jackson and
Cerberus.
the Slippians.
The Slippians.
The
Percy Jackson and the Olympians, episode 7.
7. We're getting kind of close. We're getting to where we're...
Yeah, it's the penultimate episode.
Ooh, great vocab word.
Yeah,
penultimate. How about
Yeah.
that?
Stick that in your juice box and suck it.
Wow!
I want you to know I said that once when I heard it. My mom put soap in my mouth, so I was like, I thought I was clever because it's not
That's what you
exactly-
get, dummy.
Yeah. I thought, I didn't know what sucking a penis was
Sure.
at the time,
Yeah,
so I was
yeah,
just like, oh, stick that in your juice box and
I
suck
remember
it.
my mom was super offended that we said, that sucks. She'd be like, you cannot say that. That's evil.
I got written up in 4th grade for saying the other school sucked, and I missed the magic show. We've talked about this.
There was a magic show?
Yeah, and the principal, they were like, hey, I just was at this other school, and they said you guys were not as cool as them, not as fun. And we're like, boo. He's like trying to get us riled. I said, no, that school sucks. And the principal was like, there. She goes, what'd you say? And I said, such and such school sucks. She goes, no, come with me. I sat in her office for the entire magic show. I paid $5 to watch that show.
The magic show, man.
And then
They
wrote
robbed
me up
you.
afterwards.
They robbed you.
They did.
Anyway, this episode sucks. No, I don't think it sucks. I liked a lot of it. Like not remembering that much of the book.
Yeah.
I think especially helped. I liked the mattress store.
Yeah.
Which I vaguely remember from the book.
Yeah.
I remember the talking to Hades, and you said he was like way more intimidating than he's supposed to be.
Yeah, in the books.
I don't even remember if Cerberus was in the book.
He was. I'll preface, this show has a lot of highs for me, but a lot of real lows for me too. It's one of my more, because I think I tweeted a little preemptively after watching the show. I went back and watched it again and started seeing, wait a second. Because at the end of the show, when I tweeted out, it's like the best episode I'd seen so far.
Yeah.
I just got done with the Sally Poseidon scene, and I was
That
just like,
was
that's
awesome.
phenomenal. That's the best piece of content I've seen. It's awesome. Like, tweet about it. But then I rewatched it. I didn't like the Krusty scene.
You didn't like Krusty.
No, because it's another expo dump, and we're having problems with that.
That's
so
true.
in the book,
But at
he
least it
tricks
was-
them. He tricks them. He's like, hey, my name's Krusty. They were getting chased by a gang in
Oh,
California.
yeah.
And so he's like, hey, y'all can just lay down in here and stuff. And like Grover and Annabeth lay on the beds, and then they get trapped. And, he's supposed to stretch you to maybe 6 foot tall. So if you're too short, he stretches you. And if you're too tall, he lops off pieces.
I do remember
He's
that.
a monster.
Yeah.
And Percy has to use his wits to talk about, like, no one appreciates waterbeds anymore. Like, that's crazy, And then he has him talk about him, and then he tricks him into laying on a bed, and then cuts him because he's too tall. So he cuts his head off. And he's like, Krusty, stop making offers, you know what I mean? And cut his head off. And
That's his brother.
yeah.
Wow.
Distant brother.
Yeah, of course.
And he didn't have, the entrance to the underworld wasn't there in the book. They had to go to like a recording studio.
Oh.
And you meet Charon there, and he's a really cool character. He's like underpaid by Hades. He doesn't like working for him and stuff. And they try to trick him like, oh, we all drown in a bathtub together. But when Percy read his name tag, he said Chiron. He goes, no, it's Charon. So when Percy goes to give him drachma to like just go in, he goes, wait a second. You're a demigod. You misspelled my name. You're dyslexic. Like, you guys are. He goes, no, I'm dead. I'm not a demigod. I'm dead. Yeah. And so, tricks him. We'll tell Hades you need a raise or something. And he goes, yeah, I need a raise. These suits aren't getting any cheaper because he's always wearing like expensive stuff. So there's some little magic.
There's a cute bit in this where he's like, hey, Chiron, just take all of our gold. He's like, just take every bit of it. And then Chiron's like,
Charon,
sorry. I'm dyslexic.
I'm dead.
But no, he blows a little whistle, and Percy's like, you can buy a new whistle.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. And then
it's good. It's just the book had more charm to it a little bit.
It always does, doesn't it? If we ever talk about an adaptation is there anything that's better than the book? The Boys, I heard people say?
I would say Harry Potter holds up really well.
Better than the book?
Not better than the book, but there's
good.
a lot less problem until you start getting into the later books and you start seeing how much more they're cutting out.
I remember taking a test, like an AR test, whatever. And it was like, I had just watched the movie. That's all I'd watched, the first Harry Potter movie. And I'm like, I can take this test easy. And it's like all these differences that were specifically different from the movie. It was like Fluffy, it was like, in the book, it was a flute, I think. In the movie, it's a harp.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, it was a harp, easy. And then they were like, you didn't read.
You liar. What, did you read another Audible book?
No, I just watched the movie, dude.
Even worse.
Anyway, I don't use Audible. I use Hoopla, powered by the library, the public library.
Fun fact, the actor for the movie Charon from the Percy Jackson movie. He actually plays Krusty in the show.
Same that's actor. Right. And he's Death in Supernatural, right?
Death in Supernatural.
He's a good actor.
He plays in Man of Steel too. He was on the Kryptonian Council at the beginning. Yeah, I
liked the Krusty scene. I thought it was fun. I thought it was like
I like his little flashy suit and whatnot.
Yeah, I liked that Percy went in there alone, and then he kind of came in swinging with Annabeth, and she pushed him on the bed and stuff. I thought that was a quicker way for them to like show. Yeah. Okay, we're just going to get in and get, like, the solstice is already here. We got to hurry. And I think it kind of it eliminated the need for like the recording studio. It just was like, okay, the underworld's here.
Yeah, it just combines it. I see that, but my problem is like it's not showing Percy growing. It doesn't show his cunning or like these characters are not doing anything that shows any of their growth or skills.
You could argue that was whole Annabeth's plan because
so like again, it's all Annabeth doing something and people online are saying she's going to be like another Hermione problem where she's too big to fail kind of thing.
Is she though? I feel like she's got enough like trauma and kind of.
Where have we seen any of the trauma?
It's all with her mom. I saw someone commented on one of our shorts. Shout out to that beautiful soul that commented this, but they're like, yeah, she wears a bunch of layers. It feels like she actually feels like homeless, like she had been homeless for a long time. And I think that was
a very subtle thing, but I like that. I like that as well.
Even if it wasn't like intentional, I think it does. Yeah, we can interpret it that way. Yeah.
I just wish I'd seen more of the kids doing less exposition stuff and using their wits a little bit more. Because at the end of the day, they're 10, 11 years old,
Yeah.
And they're not the strongest. They take fights and stuff. They're demigods. They have powers. But like at the end of the day, you're kids. You're gonna have to rely on your wit a lot more than your brute strength.
That's true.
And they don't see that because you just see Annabeth push them over.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. They felt witty in this. Like the whole dog thing was very witty. Like they didn't just try to kill the dog. It was like we're gonna scratch its ear behind its ear, and then we're gonna throw the ball.
I'm gonna be devil's advocate for most of this episode because in the book they see Cerberus, and they have a toy ball. Yeah. Same thing. But Annabeth tells him like sit, and he sits and he throws the ball, and then they start fighting over, and she goes no, drop it. So she drops the ball, or he drops the ball, and it's like this shredded up piece of ball. But they're like no. So they keep playing with Cerberus, and Cerberus ends up becoming their friend. And she throws it, and they run away. Annabeth's like crying a little bit, and they're like, what's wrong? He's like, I had dogs over at my dad's house. And I was the one that trained them, and it's just a little peek. Like they give
that moment is not as good. In the show, it's like
it doesn't focus on. You see Annabeth talking, and you see her from the back. You don't even see her facial features.
Well, she's like, yeah, my dad had dogs. That's all we get.
Yeah. And like in this one, it hurts Annabeth more because Cerberus really likes her after this, so he's like whining and stuff because you tell him to like. And there's funny bits where she tells him to sit, and he sits on a bunch of spirits, and they just get like dissipated and stuff. So
what about the dead tree people?
I like that. It wasn't in the book, but I do like that there's like a whole area, the asphodel with the regret and stuff. I like that.
And I like that she gets stuck there because she's got some kind of regret or something. I guess that's sort of a flaw in her character, we could say. I think it was important that they didn't all three go.
Oh, for sure.
Even though like we've already lost one of the pearls because Grover just like loses it in the dog's mouth. At this point, okay, and at what point is like a 3-headed Rottweiler going to get you in its mouth and not chew you to all hell?
Yeah, like he was like honestly the imagery I got was that Cerberus had put a dip in, and like Grover was just stuck in his upper lip, and he's just like.
Maybe that's if we're talking like D&D rules. Maybe he rolled like a nat 20. He's got the animal handling, so
or
he's
luck on some or something.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. He's got the animal handling too, so he's already got like a slight advantage on it or whatever. So he just like, oh yeah, you're fine, I guess. Nat 20, you swish around his mouth a little bit. Don't even get hit with a tooth. Like anyway, very lucky child to not
even a child. He's 24.
That's true. A lucky grown man traveling around with children. He looks like a child.
He does. They mature slower, but it's just funny to see that. But
he could legally drink if he wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah, he could.
Anyway,
I do love the settings. The settings for the underworld look super cool.
It does look
the barrenness of
when
it.
We can see it. It looks good.
Don't even get me on that soapbox.
I was like, man, this dog looks awesome. Immediately, I cannot see a single thing. It's all foggy.
It's like, bro, you have $1 billion budget, $1 $1 budget.
You are Disney. I know, like the Marvels wasn't doing very well, but like you already pre-planned this before all that happened.
We know it's like $15 million per episode.
I just think this could be their next big thing. This could be Disney's like Harry Potter.
It could be a flagship. It really could.
It could be, and I think it's big enough for that. I really think the fans are there.
Yeah,
and I think everyone that watched everyone's already got an idea of what it is because they watch the movies and so big blockbuster movies. And I think the books got these like really dedicated fans. I know a lot of people like them. One out of 20 people probably read Percy Jackson.
I'm telling you, it's my all-time favorite book series.
I think, it's got a huge fan base.
And what's crazy, too, is get this. They're not capitalizing. They want it to be a kid show. Get this, right? Yeah. Make it a little bit more mature. Yeah. Make it appeal to both audience of our age and audience of kids. Make it like a young adult thing. And then guess what? The people my age and like 5 years older from 25 to 30 probably have a kid or two, and they're going to watch it with their kids, and they're going to raise another generation into watching the Percy Jackson series.
I said the same about Ben 10, too. It's like we all grew up with that show. Yeah. There's tons. You go look at the Ink Tank or whoever does Ben 10 content. It's all thousands of views. We get.
Check it out on the channel.
We get a couple views per video.
Hey, it keeps the lights on.
Yeah. Hey, there's a little bit of a link in the corner up there if you want to check out our Ben 10 stuff.
We're starving.
But no, there's a huge fan base for Ben 10. You go on Twitter, it's constantly trending. Yeah. The Cartoon Base did that interview with Duncan Rouleau recently, got all these views. People our age want like an adult Ben 10 series, not even like swearing, not like Has Been Hotel adult, but like more adult themed, something like a Samurai Jack or something, that kind of a tone.
And the thing is if you get the parents, guess what? The parents control what the kids watch. Yeah. If the parents love it, they're gonna watch it with their kids.
I'll be honest with you right now. I'm gonna get a girl pregnant, and we're gonna make that baby watch Ben 10.
I'm gonna get Des pregnant, and we're gonna watch Percy Jackson.
You heard it here, Des. Get ready for that.
I came home yesterday. She'd watched our live stream, and she's like, "I don't know where you get off saying that you're gonna kidnap me and take me into space. I am not going. I will not go to space."
We're talking about the movie Jules.
I said, "Well, that's too damn bad.
That's too damn bad.
You're getting on that spaceship."
Anyway, back to Percy here. Yeah. I like the dog stuff. I wish it was longer. I wish there was more involved.
Oh, yeah, we were talking about how dark the show is. And it's not just Disney. It's every studio. I don't know what's going on.
It's because it's easier to hide faulty special effect. Yeah.
Well, get better at it. Or go back to the old days. Look at the two towers. Dog, the two towers were perfect.
Yeah, no, that's... Well, a lot of that was dark. It was nighttime, but you could see everything that was happening, yeah.
You literally have like... we've talked about this quote before. What's his name?
Samuel Jackson?
No, who plays Frodo?
Elijah Wood.
Elijah Wood literally talks like Peter Jackson. He's like, where's all this light coming from? And he's like, the same place that... magic come from or something like that. And he said like the same place that all this other stuff, the music's coming from is what he said.
That's really funny.
It's like,
well, you can make, like as an editor, I know you can take something that's daylight or looks bright and you can make it dark. You can bring down the light stuff. It's not, I mean, obviously you never want to do night for day because that doesn't look very good, but you want to do something where people can see it.
What blows my mind, we're not professionals. No. These guys know more than we do.
Yes.
They really do. But how is it that we see this and no one else sees it in the actual industry? You know what I mean?
Well, it's because it's like, oh, this is the cheap way to do it. This is how everyone does it. Like, this is the standard at Hollywood.
It's so bad.
We talk about Godzilla. I was trying to, we did the tier list video.
Yeah.
Right here, folks. Tier list. But anyway, I was like looking at that, and we were talking about how Godzilla gets jumped in the first movie, and Aaron Taylor Johnson he like explodes something, so others it like explodes their nest or something. And I was like, okay, yeah, we'll put that clip in, and I'll make it funny. I put like some goofy sound effects over it and stuff. It's so dark. It is very hard to see. I had to find a YouTube video that was like restored with lightened up or whatever. Yeah. And I was like, even still, I cannot see most of what's happening here. Why is everything so dark? But then you smash cut to like Godzilla versus Kong, and you get all this like stuff on the boat. You get the stuff in like.
If you go to the city, it's lit up.
It was like South Korea or somewhere.
No, they're in Tokyo, I think.
I don't think it's Tokyo. It could be Tokyo. It's like a neon city, whatever it is. I think it's South Korea.
We'll say
it's like
Tokyo for the sake of Godzilla.
No, it's not Tokyo. We would know if it's Tokyo.
We'll agree to disagree. Editor may or may not.
God dang it! The editor is so overworked.
Depending on how dedicated he is to this argument,
he'll figure it out. Anyway, but it's like this nice. It's nighttime, but it's like this nice bright city.
Yes,
with all these neon lights. It looks super cool. It's the most visually appealing scene in the whole MonsterVerse. I would say
it's so good.
It's so cool, and like you get Kong has this like bright blue axe, and Godzilla's breathing
my
blue.
Axe.
My ass. Anyway, find a way to make it look inventively colorful.
Yeah,
you don't have to have everything dark. I know Godzilla vs. Kong obviously had a much bigger budget than this television show. Yeah, but it's only 8 episodes. If we're doing short television shows, we need to make them look really good.
Put the budget in there. Would you have it? $15 million per episode, dude.
Yeah. I mean, like,
how is that not enough?
I can understand too. Like, it's foggy. There's like the river Styx. It probably gives off all this fog and stuff. It's a cool atmosphere.
That's how you get Achilles powers, by the way.
Getting in the sticks?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
It's really cool.
I thought the sticks killed you.
So you have to anchor yourself to the mortal world. So Achilles, his mom, grabbed him by the feet and dunked him in.
By the ankle.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
And then dunked him in. I'm just gonna spoil it.
Sure.
Percy gets the Achilles belt in the 5th book.
He would totally beat Harry Potter.
Anyway, so what he has to do is he has to figure out where he wants to put his mark, right?
Yeah.
And then he has to take all of his emotions and basically imagine them anchored to that spot. So and he pictures like a bungee cord that's holding him as he's bathing in the river Styx. It's very painful.
What book is this that we're getting this?
This is the final one. Percy Jackson Olympians, The Last Olympian.
How many books are there?
There's only 5.
Only 5 books. So we could reasonably get 5.
Oh, easily 5 seasons.
How old is he by the end of the book?
16. That's because the prophecy comes true when he's 16.
I think Walker's like 15 or something.
That's fine now because he looks young enough that it's believable the ages. You know, he's not Logan Lerman at 25.
This is true.
You know,
I will say though, like seeing the cast now because they filmed this last year. You know,
yeah.
Seeing the cast now, they all look way older.
Yeah, the problem is around that age, puberty hits you like a truck. Dude.
That's why the It movies like had to go back and digitally de-age the kids.
It's hard.
Even though they should never have done that, by the way, because like it all looked bad and there was no reason for them to go back anyway. People just liked the kids; they wanted to see more of the kids.
I think the second It kind of failed. It was just too long.
By
the end of it, we had the same scares 3 times in a row per character, and I was SpongeBob from Davy Jones, where I'm just like, I'm a scaredy cat, you know what I mean? And I wasn't even scared by the end.
I know the end of it is just like this big loud spider with a clown's face. I'm like, this is dumb at this point. But you know what? You can kind of see it.
Yeah,
I give him props to that.
Oh yeah, but. When he ate that kid under the bleachers,
you could see it.
You saw that?
Oh yeah,
they made sure of it.
That was a creepy scene.
It was.
That was probably the best scene in the movie.
It really was. She goes, "You forgot to say," and oh.
Every time we do someone eating something, I picture the Monster House guy going.
Oh, every time, dude. We're brainwashed.
Like Pennywise is like.
But to get back on topic, that's a little factoid of the River Styx.
Factoid.
So, you know, if you want to be vulnerable, if you can handle it. Not everyone can handle it. So bring a friend and have them hold you.
If you're a demigod, I suppose you could probably handle it.
Some of them, it's all about willpower. I mean, at one point, Percy holds up the sky. Spoiler.
Yeah, so Hades is in this.
Yeah.
Annabeth gets sucked into the woods. She uses her pearl off the bat to escape. I mean, that's a smart move. And then we get to see Percy and Grover.
Yeah, it's some alone time.
We don't really see a lot of Percy and Grover nowadays.
So mano a mano.
It's
cool.
Cool.
A lot of sexual attention.
No. I didn't get that.
I don't know. You haven't read some of the fan fictions. You know what I mean?
Whoa. We do get the shoes having some sexual tension with the pit of Tartarus.
He said, let me smell them feet. I got them hooves in me.
Where them dogs at?
Yeah,
obviously
we do get
cursed by Luke, I suppose.
Yeah,
or I don't know, cursed or rigged somehow.
So they were given, as soon as they get close to Tartarus, the wings are supposed to take you in, and that's when the lightning bolt shows up in the backpack that Ares gave him. And it's supposed to carry him down there, and the lightning bolt power is supposed to restore Kronos or something like that.
Oh,
interesting. It's going to be something along those lines.
Wait, so Ares wants Kronos to come back?
No. He was... So, he'll probably explain this in the next episode. I hope he does. But what he essentially says is, you know, like he said in the other episode, he said Zeus had all his kids going out, and Ares is God of War. He can sniff out a weapon like that easy.
Oh, sure.
So he finds... verbatim, he says he finds Luke somewhere in, like, New Jersey, running with the thing, and he captures him. At that point, Kronos comes in as like a presence in Luke and tells him what to tell Ares. And he goes, Ares, no, let me keep this. Imagine it, bro. We blame Poseidon. They get a war. Imagine the war of the 2 most powerful gods raging on Earth. And Ares is just like, yeah, I fuck with that, dog. Yeah. And so Luke's like, all you need to do is this, and this.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if he fully knows he's working. He didn't know he was fully working for Kronos. Kronos was like a little voice in the back of his head.
Oh, okay.
Because he even tells Percy at one point, I don't get dreams. And Percy's like, I never said you did. What is that supposed to mean? And that's when Ares realized he was being manipulated.
Wow. How about that?
Kronos is devious, dog. I'm excited to see him in this show.
I think it was like the sandy kind of place, like going to Hades' castle.
It gave me like Dune vibes, hardcore.
I could get that too, and that looked good. It was bright. You could see everything.
Or when Boba Fett gets eaten.
The Sarlacc pit.
Yeah, dude.
I would love if a Sarlacc was in the little Tartarus hole.
Cthulhu just pops out.
Lightning bolt looks cool.
Oh, it did. I was expecting more like in the movie where it was just pure lightning, but I think I like the
sort of like
bronze weapon,
the Thor Love and Thunder kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then so they go to Hades, and obviously you've got your problems with Hades. I thought he was fine. He was kind of silly.
Yeah.
He was sort of a silly kind of. He said a couple funny things.
He's like the youngest brother, you know, doesn't get a lot of attention kind of thing.
But he says like, oh, I'm all right by myself. I'm not trying to. And like, there's this nice moment where Percy's like, wait, what? Like he's just like, you don't want the lightning bolt, like, and because they both think this is in the book too. I'm pretty sure it's like they both think they want different things. Yeah. So he's like, where's my helm of darkness or shroud of whatever?
Yeah. It basically gives him like it's like the invisibility cloak from Harry Potter, where it can shield you from death itself, kind of thing.
Oh, interesting. Even like Annabeth's hat, I guess.
Well, it's way more powerful because they do a direct comparison in the book. It's like 20 times more powerful than Annabeth's hat.
Wow. Anyway, that makes sense, I guess, because that's just a more...
Because it literally weaves the shadows around you. I wish they would have explained more, because his helm looks sick.
Yeah. I guess they don't really use it in this book.
No. You come out, and Ares actually has it on his motorcycle.
Oh, that's right.
In the book.
That's right. Did he steal it from...
Luke stole both the helm and the bolt.
That makes sense, because he had to get the helm to get the bolt.
Yeah. But it was really cool in the book. It's again, there's this little humor that Riordan had that I really love that you don't see in the show as much.
You see flavors of it, hints of it.
But Percy tells him, he's like, "What? You don't want a war? Like that gives you plenty of death. You know, he's like, I'm overflowing. I've got like 4 overpasses being built.
People die every single day.
Yeah, he's
people
like,
die every minute.
Help! There's so many people. I've got to expand my lands like 4 times.
Yeah, I'm literally underpaying Chiron.
That's what Percy goes.
Charon.
He said Charon needs a raise, and he's like, don't bring up his raise to me. This man asks me for one every 20 years.
So
or something.
funny.
It's so funny because he's so exasperated. He's talking like a mayor of a city,
like an overworked boss.
Yeah, he's like, I've got too much. I don't want another war.
It's good. I liked his. He said a couple of silly things. He goes, I like the cut of your jib.
Yeah.
And then he goes, I seldom cahoot.
Yeah.
Because he thinks he's in cahoots with somebody.
Yeah. I did like this rendition. I was just hoping for more menacing Hades.
I think I'd seen a lot of opinions on Hades and how he wasn't exactly living up to the Hades of the book. Yeah. But at the same time, like you're in the underworld.
Yeah.
Is there a name for it besides...
We call it the underworld or Hades, honestly.
Hades. Well, Hades is the man, but we, as Americans in a certain region of the country, say, how does Hades out here?
Yeah.
So it's just another word for hell for us.
Essentially. So you just say the underworld.
Anyway, so they're in the underworld. You kind of expect him to be a little bit
menacing,
bigger, like more. I mean, you said like
larger. He was like 10 feet tall.
Yeah.
The descriptions in the book were so good because Percy said he had the eyes of like a megalomaniac. You know, like Hitler or Napoleon Bonaparte. He had this like alluring eyes of just raw power lust. You know what I mean? And it's so cool to explain someone like that. You know, and then you see this guy who's like walking and you get a tap of his shoes kind of thing.
He's a little.
Which his throne world looks sick.
He does. No, it all looks good.
Yeah, his throne looks cool. It's all like obsidian stone looking thing. You've got like the massive spikes coming out of the ceilings. It's sick looking.
Yeah.
But
we can talk about it too. I like when they when Percy tells him what's what. He's like, I've seen Kronos. I've had dreams of. Or he figures it out at that point. He's like, oh yeah, it must be Kronos because he's the one with the ultimate grudge. You know, and at this and Hades is just like going along with it. He's like, oh, I guess you're right. I guess Hades or Kronos is coming. I need that bolt.
Yeah,
because I'm going to protect myself.
Yeah, give me that.
Is that from the book as well?
No. So Percy kind of has this realization. He's like, it's not you. It's not. You're not the lightning thief. And Hades is like, I know that. No, give me the bolt. I still need it. You've basically brought it to me. I might as well keep it.
It's also like, Percy, you've got the bolt.
Yeah. So
and
Percy.
There's a moment where Grover's like, we've got the bolt, right? And he's like, okay, let's go save your mom. Yeah. Like, we got to go get the bomb.
Well, he doesn't realize it in the book until he literally is face to face with Hades.
Yeah.
So anyway, he goes, I know who did it. So they hit their pearls and they say, I'll be back for you, Mom. And they come up and he goes, Ares is the lightning thief. He doesn't realize until talking with his dad and Zeus later that he goes, I think there's something bigger. There's something in that pit that wants me, something ancient. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And Zeus leaves and Poseidon's kind of like, our dad's down there. Maybe that's what you heard. He likes to stir every now and then and corrupt mortals. And Percy's like, no, I think this is more than just a little stirring. And Poseidon's like, no, it's impossible. He can never come back.
Well,
to
the
power.
fact that the bolt got stolen, I think, is more than enough proof.
More than enough proof.
Yeah.
But so he doesn't realize it's Kronos until he comes there, and he doesn't even know who Kronos is until he talks with his dad. But that's not a bad change.
I don't mind that change because at least
it finally name drops Kronos.
Right, and we're getting. I mean, we get shadows of Thanos in the Avengers. Yes. You know, we get little whispers and we see his face at the end of it. I think it's good that they're going ahead and introducing the main villain,
getting it set up for the next season and stuff. I'm okay with that. And that's why I said like the show. This episode specifically had a lot of highs for me and a lot of lows, and we can talk about.
What were the lows?
I didn't like I said, I wanted to see some more crusty thing, the cunningness of Percy saving his friends kind of thing, because you haven't really seen where he saved his friends, you know?
Yeah.
You haven't seen Percy be a hero that proves himself to Annabeth and Grover. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing too. Percy, when they figure out Grover loses the ball, the pearl, he's like, okay, guys, I'm going to sacrifice myself. I'm going to stay here.
Yeah.
And then y'all can take my mom home.
Yeah.
He says that. And I'm like, Percy, this is like the third time in a row you've tried to sacrifice yourself.
Yeah.
You are the hero of this story.
Yeah.
You need to act like the hero of this story, man.
So it's just I want to see him actually save them in a more meaningful way than I'll stay behind. Like, do something to save your friends where they go, okay, he's new at this, but you know what? He's a leader, because that's eventually Percy becomes the leader.
They do a lot of like that's a heroic trait. That's to sacrifice yourself is very heroic, obviously. But in
if you don't ever actually do it, it becomes very empty after 3 times of trying.
Well, it's the fact that like you need to do something heroic besides just like I'll sit behind.
Yeah.
Okay, like when they have the 3 pearls or whatever, it's like, okay, I'm going to bully Hades until he lets my mom go, and then we'll all just leave or whatever. Yeah. Like, I would take that attitude if I was the son of Poseidon.
And that's why I think the Krusty scene would have been perfect to set up Percy's growth, especially since it's the second to last episode,
You see how much they've crammed into this episode already.
Well, that's
We're lucky we got Krusty stuff.
The problem is because every other episode has been 30 minutes. Yeah. If you lengthen all the episodes, you have the time.
That's true.
And I think we get Percy's only hero moment, really, when he goes and fights Ares in the next episode.
And I even think that's going to be a little underwhelming. I'm just calling it out.
I'm preparing myself for the underwhelming fight. I've been hyping myself.
It'll be 5 to 10, maybe 10 minutes. It'll be like 5 minutes probably.
Maybe.
And then Ares will just be like, whatever. And then they'll just have to, because it's like we're on a ticking clock. We got to go.
The fight just to preface this, the fight in the show or in the book is so cool because he like rides a wave to blind Ares. He does like a backflip in the air and stabs Ares. And Ares is like, you've made me bleed. Like he stabs him in the leg and like his
this
blood
is the god of war, by the way.
And you've gotten a hit on him.
And
he gets real pissed and hit like this guy. But then
it looks cool setting up. Like he's got this nice, like awesome sword. Percy pulls out his little riptide sword, and they're about to go
what happens is like everything kind of stops, and that's Kronos coming in and telling him, "Don't do this. I need him for later. You're done here. Take the L. Walk away."
Okay.
So Ares gives him the helm, and then and at the beginning, Ares, he's a god of war. He just makes 2 wild boars, come out of the ground and attack Percy. And Percy takes them out. I was like, "Come and fight me yourself, you coward!"
I love that.
So I've got high hopes for this. For this scene. I don't think it's going to be.
We'll see. I'm expecting nothing really crazy.
Yes,
but we'll take what
guys,
we get.
By the way, don't forget, hit that like, subscribe, hit the noti.
Hit the noties, please. Give us a comment on
question. How did you feel about Hades' portrayal?
Yes. Also, what's your favorite version of Cerberus? I was thinking of a couple different Cerberuses.
I've always liked Rottweiler as Cerberus.
I like the fluffy kind of like Mastiff sort of like slobbery kind of one.
Yeah.
Also really like the one from Disney's Hercules that like they give the meat. It's only in it for like 3 seconds. But they give them the meat and they're all like fighting over the little steak. I think that's so cute.
I've seen Doberman before. I'm not a fan of Doberman.
Not a huge fan of Doberman. I think anything's better than like didn't the Supernatural do like
Chihuahua?
Who's a Chihuahua?
No. Cerberus Chihuahua. 3-headed Chihuahuas.
Who?
No, Cerberus. That'd be a cool portrayal.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it would be great.
It's like a humor thing. I've never seen it.
We should make that.
I can't draw words.
What about like you ever see Scoob?
Yes.
You get like the Anubis.
The movie, right?
Yeah. You get like the Anubis Cerberus thing.
Yeah.
It's got like the Egyptian vibe going. Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's a jackal.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. With that.
What's another silly dog breed? A Labrador. Yeah. That would be kind of intimidating, honestly.
Labradoodle.
A Labradoodle would be funny. A poodle would be funny.
What
if it's one dog with 3 different breed heads? It's got a Chihuahua here. It's got like a Rottweiler.
Like an English bulldog.
A bulldog would be awesome,
he's got, like,
dude.
Breeding problems.
A pug.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god, that'd be awesome.
If you're an artist, please draw that.
We would love to see it. We'll put it on our Twitter, post it on the community tab. We'll put it everywhere.
But this was a good Cerberus.
the parts we could see.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll
move on to the best scene. We got to talk about the Sally and
Poseidon. Oh, Sally and Poseidon. There's a whole flashback thing throughout the episode. We get Percy and Sally. She's trying to. This is what Lin-Manuel's Hermes was referencing to in the last episode.
Yeah.
Percy is like freaking out because he doesn't want his mom to abandon him at this like private school or whatever.
He doesn't know that she's doing it for his good. He just thinks, I don't have a dad, and now my mom wants to get rid of me, kind of thing.
It's a heartbreaking scene.
Oh, yeah.
Acting is all really good.
Sally's acting is phenomenal. Like,
I got emotional watching all of that.
Dude,
yeah.
Watching the first episode, okay, Sally, you're kind of overacting, but now I'm just like, bravo, Sally. Magnificent.
Yeah, I love that. And now I even feel worse because like I didn't care about her when she was in the Hades scene. I'm like, oh, that's his mom, okay. And then she's like stuck in a gold statue kind of thing.
Poker face.
No, we do a leap with the baby.
I love that. Pull up. But yeah, so we get the scene it looks literally like a pub, honestly.
Yeah, it's some sort of like restaurant or English pub kind of a thing. They're eating. She has like
a New England bar.
Yeah, she has a milkshake for Percy, but he's obviously too upset to eat anything.
Yeah.
So it's just.
I would still eat that.
Man,
milkshake.
It's so depressing.
With tears coming down my eyes, I would be eating a milkshake.
Mama, you don't love.
Yeah, you're not getting me out of my milkshake, dog. I'm eating it.
Tell us that we were raised poor without telling us we were raised poor.
But yeah, so she gets up, she's going to pay the bill, and she sees this half-eaten milkshake. And we know that the gods listen to you when you burn offerings. Mm-hmm. So she puts a match and throws it in there. And all of a sudden it gets dark, starts raining, the door opens, and in comes Poseidon, played by...
Toby Stevens.
Yes.
From Lost in Space, the Netflix version.
Also Professor McGonagall's son, the actress who plays...
Maggie Smith?
Yeah, that's her son.
That's crazy. Yeah. I love her.
I know. Who doesn't? She's awesome.
I saw her in something the other day.
She was in Nanny McPhee.
Was she in Nanny McPhee?
2. Number 2. She's technically in the first one because in the first one she's a baby, Maggie, the baby.
Oh.
And in the second one, when they bring in the new family, Professor McGonagall's like a neighbor or whatever.
I didn't know they made a second one.
Yeah, it was all right. It
was like a direct-to-DVD thing?
I don't know, actually. I was pretty young when it came out. But
I remember watching it being like, man, Nanny McPhee's nothing compared to Mary Poppins, man.
See, everyone wants to I like them both. I like Nanny McPhee had a stick. So like when I went outside, I found me a Nanny McPhee stick.
You did not.
Yeah, and it was mine. And then if my siblings would do something, I'd stamp it on the ground and be like, enough! You now have to do this because I stabbed my Nanny McPhee stick.
Because I was out playing like Gandalf doing that. You shall not pass. And I see Steven just...
I'm a nanny. But anyway. No, at the end of the second movie, McPhee like talks to McGonagall and was like, thank you for recommending them. And she's like, oh yeah, I know your work very well. And she like raises or wackles the like rattle she got from the first movie. And you're like, oh, hey.
How'd she keep a rattle the whole life?
I don't know, dude.
Anyway, I enjoyed this episode for what it was.
Yeah, so we got to talk about the scene.
Okay, keep going.
So Poseidon comes in, and he just sits down, and it's this really cool thing where neither of them are looking at each other kind of thing. They're both staring ahead, and they're talking, and she's just, like, struggling. She's like, I need him to be close, but I don't want him, like, he's starting to get more, like a Pegasus followed him home from school the other day. And soon it's not going to be something as light as Pegasus.
And two, I want to just reiterate here. That's the dumbest reason. Everyone takes that way too seriously.
Oh yeah, the guy's like, he drew a Pegasus.
Yeah, we have a drawing.
He's mentally ill.
It's like, what are you talking about?
He's 5, and he drew a horse with wings.
Also, very uninclusive of you to not let in some like ADHD kid. Like, what are you doing? Dyslexic ADHD child.
He's got an imagination. Sue him. You know,
that's
can't
wild.
have that in America.
That's so wild that that's her son.
Yeah. But, so, you know, and they have this, like, heart-to-heart talk, and Poseidon's just like, you got to do what you need to do. He's going to be the best guy out there kind of thing. Like, I respect everything about you. You've done it all yourself, and I have nothing but respect for you kind of thing. She even goes, like, would you like to see him? And he goes like he wants to, but then you hear, like, thunder.
He says, one day.
Yeah, and you hear the thunder, and I'm thinking, like, Zeus is like, no, you can't. You're not allowed.
Man, it's sad.
It's such
a like
phenomenal
sweet
scene.
moment.
Like whoever directed that scene, whoever's idea it was to put that scene in, I will give it props. Like that was phenomenal acting, phenomenal. Oh,
and it was so sweet that it was just like all it took was one little match and a milkshake, and there he is. You know?
Yeah. Oh man, I forgot everything I hated about the show for the whole part that scene was going on.
As a kid raised by a single mom, were you kind of like,
I was.
I feel seen. Like that's my poor mom.
Yeah, that's my mama.
I was so like I was enraptured the whole moment.
Yeah.
It was
beautiful,
very very good,
awesome.
And it was well like paced. Like everything looked like they weren't looking at each other. They were kind of got different shots of both of them. And
it was so good.
Anyway, for all its faults, it's got some good stuff.
Yeah,
in the
and
show.
that's why we said like I would still give Percy like a 6.5 or a 7. It's
not bad. It's not bad, and it's way better than the movie. Almost the worst. Yeah. It's way better than the movie.
And if you don't, no, I'm not even gonna say that because I hate when people say that. It's a good show. It's not great. It's got its faults.
It's obviously not as good as the book, but nothing ever is.
Yeah, it could have been better, closer to the book. But at the same time, when you get an adaptation, do you want just a one-to-one?
I think you want it different.
Debate. You know, like, do you want a one-to-one? Do you want it different?
You already read the book, and you've already got that version of it in your head.
Right.
And I know like that will change because whenever I read something or when I read something after I've watched the movie adaptation, I always see the movie version of the characters doing it.
Yes.
So I mean I get that changes things for people, but at the same time, I don't know, it's nice to have two different things.
Yeah. I just sometimes my grief my problems with Percy the show is that yes, it's different, but it's not a good different. Like when you changed it, it's different for sure, and it's different from the book.
Yeah.
That's not the problem. It's the fact that what you changed is worse than the original. It's not a good change. The Sally Poseidon edition, that was a change, and it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's my grief. If you're going to change it, by all means, just make it a good change, you know? But... yeah, this is probably one of the higher rated episodes for me. Just because,
I think so. I would say like the first one's probably the best.
Yeah.
Second one's maybe the second best.
Yeah, it really. Yeah. This one's the third best.
This one's probably the third best. The stuff in the middle, not so much. I'm sure the next one's going to be phenomenal too.
Oh yeah, I'm hoping the last episode is the best one.
You get Lance Reddick as Zeus. How can you beat that?
Yes, they made an award after him for the Saturn,
I saw that
Saturn Awards.
And John Wick's going to win it.
Keanu Reeves. Yeah. I'm excited for that.
Good for him.
Yeah, he deserves all the praise. He's a phenomenal actor. Was a phenomenal actor, but
we miss
Lance Reddick. It's only 61.
That's so sad, man.
Yeah, it was a heart attack, I think, or something like that.
We'll probably talk more about him in the next episode too.
Yeah,
but that's anytime like someone passes away, and they're so talented and like, I don't feel like he really got the recognition he deserves. Yeah. Like, he's a really good actor.
Yeah, like Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah, and Chadwick Boseman felt like he had
his whole life.
He had this whole career ahead of him. I mean, he was in a Marvel movie. He was Jackie Robinson. All these like really amazing performances.
I mean, Black Panther sold. Billions, you know what I mean?
And then it's just like nothing. Like like it makes me depressed to think about it. Like it really does.
Because these are movies, but at the same time, like movies, they change people's lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unironically,
and it like for someone that talented to be taken from the world, something that
the things
influential
that they can contribute to the world just by acting. You know,
it really does make me depressed.
It's insane.
I swear to God. Anyway, and you got anything else? We like the Sally and Sally and
I love Sally and Percy. I keep saying Percy, Sally and Poseidon thing.
Oh, another detail I loved. He's like, before Percy leaves the underworld, he goes, "Hold fast, Mom," and he throws the thing.
Yeah, because that's what Sally said.
Like, oh, yeah. That was a good detail.
That's what I'm saying. There's great highs, some annoying lows, but for the most part, I like this episode. I love the show.
Yeah,
good
show.
Yeah. So tune in next week for the final episode. It'll come out before we review it.
Yeah.
But
it'll come out, I guess, Tuesday or Wednesday.
This upcoming. So this video comes out, and the last episode's already out.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about it? Is it good? Don't tell us.
Don't actually,
We'll have seen it by the time. Anyway. It's all confusing.
Yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, whatever you want.
And then also, we'll do a wrap-up, just the two of us.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll be doing a wrap-up of the whole series as a whole kind of thing. More of a video essay type format, but, stay tuned for that. It's got some good things in it.
Thank you for watching and following us along on this journey. We'll see you for the next one next week.
Bye.